Good afternoon. Good seeing you again. Did y'all miss me already? Um, I'm here for the standard midday stream, 7 days a week. We're at 3 p.m. now instead of 2 p.m. So welcome to this. This is the stream where I try to do like a little topic related to mental health or personality development or the Western tradition, etc. And today I thought I would just do some little like miscellaneous thoughts, wrapping up some of the topics I spent the last few days talking about. I read a passage out of here this morning, kind of looking at the situation in 5th century Athens around the time of the Greek Enlightenment when rationalism was coming into being. And this is kind of what it looked like. And well, you can draw your own parallels from today. I hope y'all can hear me, by the way. I'm trying a new mic setup. Microphone looks good so far. If anyone can't hear me, just let me know. It said that the old mythologies were losing their hold on the Greek mind, but that the current state of scientific explanation was also at a point of crisis. The speculative cosmologies, the ideas of what, like metaphysics, I guess, in our day would be the more supernatural religious views. Neither spoke to practical human needs nor appeared plausible to common sense, because when you run them through the filter of rationality, they start to look that way. I've talked about my own journey kind of out of religion into atheism or skepticism, mainly through my study of science. So once I was exposed to the scientific worldview and could try that one on and like compare that to the facts and try to fit those facts into that story, it made more sense. And I guess for me, sense is a form of meaning. So it made more sense, and I got a different kind of meaning when I saw the facts from the scientific point of view. And it did start to make the old mythology, or in this case, the Catholic religion, kind of lose their hold on my mind and not seem relevant or practical to my needs as I guess, a teenager at that time. And so that shifted me from the religious worldview of Catholicism to the secular scientific worldview of atheism, although I didn't know to call it atheism at the time, but that's what it was. And that's also kind of similar to what we're looking about in looking at in ancient Greece. It says the result was a chaos of conflicting ideas. We have that now. I would pretty much describe social media and Twitter and TikTok and YouTube and possibly even our news stations, probably our news stations, as a chaos of conflicting ideas with no basis upon which to certify one above the rest. That's that like narrative crisis that we find ourselves in when there's no standard of truth. Like we looked at January 6th a while back and how that was an example of competing narratives with no way to definitively determine which one was accurate. Hey, Ryan, what's up? I'm going over a little bit of like nerdy stuff right now, like Western Civ type stuff, and then I'm going to open up a panel. So just glad you're here. What I'm doing now is I'm comparing our present moment with the development of rationalism in 5th century Athens, Greece, and seeing some parallels. So I think anytime, like once the ability to look at things rationally is developed, or empirically, or both, each individual human from that point forward, it's available to them. I suppose. I mean, at least in Western culture, I'm assuming it's available to them. They're in some kind of, They have access to some kind of educational system, which would make this reason or rationalism available for them to at least be exposed to, where they could examine it, consider it, try it on, see if it works, kind of like I did. And so not only did Greece itself have to go through this process, but each individual after that has to kind of try on these two paradigms and figure out the balance for themselves. And for me, it was definitely on the side of skepticism, naturalism, scientific materialism. I got in a discussion today with a friend who, like, I've always known materialism philosophically to be the philosophy. It's the philosophy that there's only the physical or the material. There's nothing beyond that in existence. And you don't need to bring in anything beyond that as an explanatory, as an explanation for anything. And so I call it naturalism because I allow for things like consciousness, information, non-physical or non-material phenomena, that they can still exist within a naturalistic framework. But I'm told now that particularly maybe the right or the religious side, they're using materialism kind of as a pejorative for someone that doesn't believe in the supernatural or God or religion. Oh, you're just a materialist. And I've kind of always known it that way. And even if they weren't using the word materialism, religious people have always kind of had a thing against non-believers, but then non-believers have kind of had a thing against religious people. So again, we see that tension between reason, rationality, secularism, and traditionalism, or more mythologically based thinking. It says, moreover, the sophist recognized that each person had his own experience and therefore his own reality, which that is more or less true. Like, we all have our own personal set of experiences, our subjectivity, our personal story that we all weave that into. In the end, they argued, all understanding is subjective opinion. So because of this subjective element, nobody can have rationality. Like, there's too much human subjectivity to be overcome for any one person to have the objectivity enough to determine what truth is. Genuine objectivity is impossible, according to them. All that a person can legitimately claim to know is probabilities, not absolute truth. And in a sense, science still kind of is there. That's all science can know now. Science is tentative. It's what we know up to this point. It's constantly in process. It's constantly refining its knowledge based on new observations, the results of new experiments, etc. So truth in this case, even for the rationalist, was not absolute truth. Well, we'll get to Plato another day. But this kind of secular rationalism that's developing in opposition to, or in contrast to, the more religious and type of thinking, is, at least at this stage, not concerned with absolute truth. So we're mostly concerned with trying to figure out what's true between these competing narratives that arise out of this chaos of ideas that we find ourselves in. McNemesis, are you kidding? You didn't know I was autistic? You might be the only one in the entire panelverse, if not the planet, that didn't. But it can be forgiven. A lot of people, I didn't even know for a long time in my life. Yeah. Technically, it would be PDD-NOS if they were using the old system. It's not classical Asperger's, although I have traits of... Anyway, it's neurodivergence, and I use a traits-based approach anyway. But yes, I definitely am neurodivergent. And I have symptoms or traits from the autistic quadrant of it. The way I eventually discovered, I think there's other people around me that knew before I did, that didn't necessarily have the language to put it in. But the way I eventually discovered, when I started doing my mental health work, one of the very first people, I was volunteering on a hotline, And my very first call was this autistic person. And we talked for like cl- probably over an hour, close to an hour, if not longer. And when I got off of that call, I turned to my coworkers and I said, I have what he has. Like our communication was syncing up in a way that it just didn't with ordinary people. And I could see the difference. And so from that point, I started reading about it. And what really helped me the most, like what really settled the issue for me, was I started seeking out autistic groups or events or places where I could meet other autistic people. And not just one or two, but enough of them to kind of see them in their natural environment. And I found this autistic community, and they had like house parties and barbecues and social events. So it was like very casual and low pressure. And the very first event I went to, like it didn't take any time at all. There were people in their 40s sitting there rocking back and forth, and uh, like people whose brains you could tell they process in different ways and don't pick up. And I said, "Oh my God, this! Of course I'm autistic. Like, how did anybody miss this? It's so obvious that I belong in this group." And so for me, if you're suspecting that, you can read and do research and see if you match the individual traits and symptoms. But talking about chaos of ideas, there's so much competing information out there right now. To me, the easiest thing to do is just to go find other autistic people and see how you fit in with them or not, or how you what you notice about yourself, because you might get a type of mirroring that you don't get from neurotypicals. That's what it was for me. I finally got some, because mirroring is like the things that we need reflected from another person so that we can develop, and a lot of neurotypicals get that naturally. And then there's certain identities like gifted people, autistic people, neurodivergent people, that their particular uniqueness is not always reflected back from neurotypicals, because neurotypicals don't have the same type of stuff to reflect back that they need. And so when they find other people but like themselves, they get those little pieces reflected back to them that they don't get when they kind of look into the neurotypical mirror. And then you can start to use that information to become more aware of yourself and learn about yourself and start developing as an autistic person, because you're not going to ever develop as a neurotypical. That's not your developmental track. You can be socialized, uh, but developmentally, you're still going to benefit from the mirroring of people like yourself. And that's what I found when I started hanging around autistic people, and that clarified for me once and for all, beyond a doubt, that I was autistic. Yeah, hyper ADHD, and there's different types of that nowadays too. Yeah, I certainly I understand what natural law is. I do have a background in philosophy, so I understand the concept of natural law. But as far as anything you talk about, yes, I would agree with that. I don't. A lot. It sounds very Alex Jonesy and conspiracy theory, conspiratory to me. You know that if you were, I actually don't. But was it 11 something 12? King John was the Norman conquest was 1066. It's either 11 or 12. Let me see if I got it. 1215. June 15th, 1215. Okay, well that might be so. I don't know what a statist is in your world. Um, so, but good to see you. I'm going to continue with my topics. I'm just going to pull a few quotes out of this Greeks and the Irrational book to tie a few things up, and that's really all I have for today. And again, it's to draw parallels between then and now, and to show kind of the timelessness of the historical moment in Western culture, or at least like the unity to it. Um, okay, talking about emotion and strong emotion, the Greek had always felt the experience of passion as something mysterious and frightening, the experience of a force that was in him, possessing him, rather than possessed by him. I found that interesting, particularly when I consider my own relation to emotion. I don't understand why people have the reactions they do to strong emotion, but then when I'm reading my intellectual history, that seems more like the norm. So I might be the outlier in that case with these extreme intense emotions that are completely normal for me. Like my nervous system is made to handle them. So when they happen to me, I don't freak out about them. But everybody around does. And this description of mysterious and frightening, and the experience that like something's possessing the person rather than the person possessing the emotion. And in my case, I'm larger than the emotion. The emotion is not possessing me. I am possessing the emotion. And I guess people that see it the other way around, that feel like an emotion is something that comes on and takes control and possesses them, and that's what they think is happening with me, then I guess I could see why they would freak out. But I assure you, that's not what's happening with me. I'm definitely possessing the emotion. Um, it's I don't. I've tried to articulate it before, but emotions are feelings. They're physiological sensations that come over your body. Your chemicals start to rise. Like I know the specific pattern to that chemical arousal state because I've been in it so many times when emotions happen. So for me, it's such a natural process. I don't know why anybody would freak out about it any more than somebody throwing up or sneezing or something like that. I mean, you want to make sure it doesn't get all over the place, but does that apply to emotions? Emotional contagion? Anyway, uh, just musing, I guess. Okay, so this is talking about kind of that inherited body of stories that like are pre-rational or not necessarily rational, but they still have a function in society and kind of help to hold it together. Um, and he's quoting some other dude here, but I'll read other dude's quote. Anthropology seems to show that these ideas have practically no chance of being true or even sensible, and on the other hand, that no society can exist without them or even submit to any drastic correction of them without social danger. So, this is saying that even if, and that's kind of the situation we're in now, and kind of have been, at least on a mass scale culturally, since Nietzsche and the death of God. But even if these ideas, even if we somehow all come to clearly perceive that they are just stories, they have no correspondence to actual tangible reality. Even if that happens, um, that doesn't mean that we should change anything as a result, because just like knowing what's true can't tell us what to do with that knowledge. That's a value thing, or a human problem, that humans, like a societal, cultural, individual problem. So science can't tell you that even if this is true, that these are this just stories, that therefore, because they're not true, you suddenly have to start dispelling them or changing them, or doing something different with them. They can be not true. They can have the status of myth or fiction or whatever, and still be crucial to society, essential to society. And as it says here, um, if they're submitted to any drastic correction of them, that can't happen without some kind of social danger. So changing social norms, changing traditional norms, changing religious social values, it's kind of a Chesterton's fence thing. Like before you go changing that kind of stuff, they're there for a reason. They've endured for a reason, the same as rationality has. Um, I would say good luck changing any of it, but then I would say examine very carefully why you want to change any of it and what you're hoping to accomplish by changing it. I was talking to an engineer today, and he was telling me about engineering, and it's like somebody has this need or this goal or this problem that they're trying to solve. So you create this device, this mechanism, this tool, and you have to be aware of every factor that's affecting or influencing or impinging on this device that you're creating and how it's affected the wind, the material, the shape, the size, its interaction with other parts of the make. There's so many complex factors you have to take into account for engineering. And if you're gonna, if you approach culture or society with an engineering mindset, and many people do, going back to Plato, he was like social engineer extraordinaire. Um, you kind of have to be aware of every single one of these forces that you're dealing with. And if you tweak the slightest little, like if you're going to approach it from an engineering perspective, then go full engineer and completely adopt the paradigm and be very cautious and methodical and technical and precise about what you're changing and why, etc. And I don't think they're approaching it with that kind of rigor. And I'm not sure human culture or society or meaning is susceptible to that kind of calculus anywhere, or if that's the best approach to it. But if you are going to take an engineering approach, which really is just using engineering as an analogy for whatever social approach you're going to take, but if you're going to do it, at least try to make the analogy as close as you can get it, and go full core with the paradigm and be very intentional about these changes that you're trying to make. Even if these stories turn out to not be true, that doesn't necessarily mean they need to be changed. Figure out the function they have for society and for individuals, and then work with that, like build around that and meet people where they are with that. Okay, a few more. The loosening of the ties of civic religion began to set men free to choose their own gods instead of simply worshiping as their fathers had done. And, left without guidance, a growing number relapsed with a sigh of relief into the pleasures and comforts of the primitive. And that kind of describes the argument for degeneracy that I hear a lot in the modern world. When you loosen the ties of religion, they don't constrain you as much, which I think that's a good thing, actually. The loosening of constraint, it frees you up to find values that are more authentic to you and aligned with your personality ideal, the personality map we've been looking at, instead of simply worshiping as the fathers had done, the stories that are passed down traditionally, that second factor, that initial primary integration or socialization. That the default, if there's nothing to take its place or there's no higher system to civilize those primitive instincts, that once you start loosening up that second factor, and those disintegrative crises can do it as well, if you can't restabilize into some other story, you risk falling back into that primitive level, that pre-integrated level of the primitive instincts. And some of the ones we saw were aggression, appetite, which is like lust, desire, and also self-preservation. Okay, I think I just have one more. Oh, this is just a quote I really like from somebody named Al-Ghazali. There is no hope in returning to a traditional faith after it has once been abandoned, since the essential condition in the holder of a traditional faith is that he should not know he is a traditionalist. So once you become aware that your belief system has a historical and traditional component to it, and you, like the quote says, the essential condition of the holder of traditional faith is that he should not know he is a traditionalist. So once that knowledge enters, that you get from that second type of thinking, and the tradition, suddenly you become aware of it as a body of stories instead of reality, then that's where that kind of cognitive or epistemological crisis needs to be navigated. And that's kind of also the situation that I think we find ourselves in today. And I have one more quote, and then I'm going to post the link and open up the panel. This is from Harold Bloom's Western Canon. He was one of the first, he was a professor at Yale, and he was one of the first people to sound the alarms against wokeness, because one of the first departments in academia that it got hit by was the literature department, where all of a sudden the entire Western canon became about dead white European males and no representation of other races, et cetera, et cetera. Even though they were not writing at the same quality and didn't have the same historical significance as the dead white European males. So there was a move to kind of critique and start to rearrange and dismantle and replace the content and curriculums of the literature departments. And so a lot of his career, in addition to writing about literature, was critiquing the social justice left, or what at the time he called the new left, or the school of resentment, which I still think is a fine name for them. And he says that our legions who have deserted, meaning deserted the academy or deserting the traditional, and we see the battle with traditionalism and supposed rationalism play out in our academies today as well. Except I think that's the one area where the traditionalism is the rationalism, and the purported rationalism is attempting to establish itself as a new traditionalism. He said the legions who have deserted represent a stand in our traditions that have always been in flight from the aesthetic, Platonic moralism, and Aristotelian social science. So right there, once again, we see the roots of what seems like a new phenomena to us, and even to me in my life, right there at the beginning of it all, in 5th century Athens, the Greek Enlightenment, folks. And that's what I have for you today. You get the link. Oh, shit. I heard a voice, and I just realized it was my own voice. I had YouTube running. All right, there's the link. Get your asses up here. Let's get a panel going. Frank, you can come out now. The nerdery and spurgery is over. All right, let me catch up on comments. Yeah, the trivium, that came from, well, they had the paideia, and then it got refined into the trivium, the quadrivium. And yes, that is the a lot of what we take for granted now as Western educational values were transmitted through this. Well, the trivium and quadrivium, and eventually get absorbed into Christian and Catholic education, but also through the church itself, particularly the medium of the Latin language. That is the link between Greece, Greek, antiquity, and the modern world, the vernacular languages. Not always that black and white. So that's an interesting. Daniel, you really throw out some thought-provoking comments. I hope one day you can come up and expand, or that other people can kind of take them and help expand. Yeah, and that happens in the theory of evolution. That's just part of, like, that's part, we are natural beings that are caught up in a natural process. However much our imaginations and desires and hearts want to tell us otherwise, that's at least part of the truth, or part of the reality. And part of that natural process, in addition to death and loss and pain and suffering, is these random evolutionary paths that some organisms find themselves on. They just use, yeah, and I would say not even based on myth. They were myth. They were like organized or systematized myth, and maybe tied to a larger social function. I think religion is like a stage, or one of the possible stages on the road that myth takes as it evolves, if it evolves. Some would say that myth is the apex and the highest form, and that everything else is just a displacement, not a advancement. Hey, Ken, you can come up if you want. It's a open panel. Yeah, I think you should listen to this guy. You should also subscribe and like to his channel too. He puts out some interesting content. And Jax, how are you? It's good to see you. We haven't seen you around for a while. We are about to start another season of Survivor. In fact, after this is over, It's a fresh season. We're going in on the premiere episode. Um, and I know that Survivor's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you're interested in watching something later or starting something else, we're kind of at a good time for it. What is up, my boy, my man, my bro? Oh my God. Am I gonna lose my channel? You're not coming on. You're not gonna goon on here, are you? So catch us up. What's new with you? I like your setup. Is that an office chair? Yeah. Yeah. I would say borrowed, but reformulated into um what like what was significant for Western civilization, because and the Egypt and Samaria and all that definitely didn't give us the advanced rationality that the Greeks did. So there was a transformation or evolution of it. Let me get back to this. So, Ken, can you hear us? You're on mute. You. All right. What's going on, dude? I'm gonna put you in the back. You're making me nervous. Um, I, no, you don't have to get a shirt on. I've been without a shirt before. As long as YouTube lets me keep my channel, you keep it above the waist. I'm more interested in getting an update on your life. It's been like 3 whole days. That's the entire saga or two. Oh, okay. So you just want to kind of check in and say hi. Well, I'm going to stream again tonight too. After this is over, we're going to go watch stuff in the Discord for a while, and then I'll do an evening stream sometime tonight too. That's cute though that you have to sneak around your mom. But yeah, that sounds good. We'll catch you tonight and we'll get an update. It's like they say in The Color Purple, Jack. Everything want to be loved. Everything want to be seen. I think it pissed God off when you walk by The Color Purple and you don't notice. You talk to Ezra like you're on the phone or on a video call. All right. Speaking of checking in.
Hi, Ken. How are you, Glenn?
Check in with Miss Noel. Oh, she came
to
check in with Ken.
Hi, Ken. Hi, brother.
Are you okay, brother?
Oh yes, Miss Ann is back from her vacation, and she's gonna come on tonight. Do you know Miss Ann, Glenn?
Ken does. He can't talk though. He said his mom is asleep. That's why he's only typing.
His mom is what? I'm sorry.
His mom is sleeping, so he can't talk right now. He's only typing.
It's only typing. I'm gonna see. Yeah, Glenn. How is your day today? So is this gonna be? And when is Jack's gonna come on? Jack.
Am I Glenn? Am I Glenn?
Glenn? Yes, Jeff? You are Glenn.
Oh, okay. I don't know if Ken was Glenn or I was Glenn. Did you have Jen and Ken? It could have been anyone.
Jen and Ken. So why you don't like Jack? Jack Hofcard. Do you like Jack?
Jack Talcott?
Talcott.
Jack Hofcard? Is that what you call? Are you serious?
Yes. Do you like Jack Hofcard?
Wait. Oh my God. Hang on. I'm in Dolly World right now. And not
Dolly World? What does that mean?
Are you talking about Jack Talcott, Live Without Fear? The guy with the fireplace that sits in front of the fireplace. Is that who you're asking me about?
Really? Yeah.
I do like Jack Talcott.
But why is everybody saying he's a troll and he's
everybody's a troll. In the panelverse, everybody's a troll.
Even me? Am I a troll, Glenn, or no?
Yeah, you could be a troll. All right, you will end up a troll at some point. So just take that as a given. Now, as to what Jack's what their problem with him is, I have no idea. I've been trying to figure out that too. I think people have daddy issues that they're playing out through Jack and through his story.
So why did the other night? Who is it? Who is it? What's his name? I forgot his name.
I don't know. I don't really follow the Jack drama a lot. You're asking the wrong
Like,
person.
why?
It just doesn't interest me. None of the drama does. I've had way better drama in my real life than I've
Like
seen in the
how?
Panelverse. Oh
Like
God.
how?
Like a lot of ways. I've talked about a lot of it. That would take a long time. But the point is I have very high standards for my drama.
Like,
And so
what does that
the
mean?
Jack Talcott drama is not interesting. It's very low tier.
What does that mean?
It's not interesting drama to me. It's like drama I've seen before a lot of times. So like I know that it's like if you've watched a certain type of TV show over and over, you start to know what the new shows are going to be like because you've watched the genre enough that you know all the
Yes, I
conventions.
do. So what does that mean? So is Jack really a god, or is it, as some people think, it's a joke?
I don't know what Jack believes. I'm assuming Jack believes what he's saying. I'm taking it as word. I'm taking him on faith that in his mind he
And
believes what he's saying.
why is people think it's like a joke? Oh, he doesn't believe it. Oh, it's
know.
why is Glenn? Do you know what? Have you been watching or?
No, I don't really watch a
Oh,
lot.
I thought
Jack and I talk more when he comes on here than on his show.
I didn't know Jack comes on here.
He every now and then he does, but that's mostly what I know Jack from other panels more than I do from his show.
And his show is really good. His show is really good.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Me too. Yeah. I hope people will be nicer in his show.
I wouldn't expect that. Like, they're not going to be. This is a rough place.
Why is it a rough place, Ken?
That's because it brings out it like sets people free to like indulge and express whatever impulses. It's like a creative environment and a chaotic environment.
What does that mean?
That could pull out very unpredictable things. Like people are not going to act on YouTube like they would act in the office or at their workplace or at school or around their family.
Like why?
I don't know why either because it's all live, but or either that or it's drawing people with poor like behavioral controls to begin with. But people come on here, they pick fights, they spread misinformation,
yes.
They attack each other. That's like the norm, the social norm here. It's the Hobbesian state of nature.
So do you think people on YouTube is like what's their life been, and people don't act like this like in public? Like, I'm confused.
I don't think most people do know, and I've noticed a lot of like substance use background, maybe some criminal record background, or brushes with the law. Yeah, some addiction background, some mental health background. So I don't think you're getting. I don't know how much of a sample of ordinary society you're getting here.
And what does that mean? Like, and are they bad in real life? Or are they good?
No, they're probably already bad in real life.
And so the people I meet from YouTube, it's bad or it's.
I don't know who you're meeting. I can't decide that for you. You're gonna have to really use your judgment of people and try to Figure out.
Glenn, what about you? Are you
Ken is Glenn
acting
now.
yourself?
We have a new Glenn.
Glenn, are
Ken
you
Glenn?
acting yourself in real life or no? Is this
Could be lying.
in real life? Are you acting?
What is that? Is that copyrighted? Hey, who's doing that noise?
Not me.
It's Ken. All right. Well, I'm about to wrap up the stream anyway. Ken, I'm going to put you in the back. Do you have anything you want to wrap up? You can't talk. You said you want to cut. You drop by
Miss
tonight.
Anne is coming
Okay.
on
I'll see you
tonight.
tonight. I don't know what time it'll be, but I'll post it. You lost your lighter. Are we still doing our camping trip, by the way? Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess as long as it's YouTube safe. Wow, Jax, it sounds like you have it bad. Well, we'll be in the Discord soon if you want to come hang out. And
Mike, can I be in the Discord?
I'm gonna hold off on that right now and kind of watch how you do in the Panelverse for a while.
Thanks. Ken.
And Daniel has a good comment here. I mean, I even struggle with this.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I just have a lot of practice meeting people, so I have a lot of experience to draw when something goes wrong or feels off. Well, do you have anything that you want to say in closing, or
so what time are you gonna be on?
I don't know. Whenever it'll be several hours, probably later tonight.
Like what time?
I don't know. But if you subscribe, that YouTube should give you a notification.
I did subscribe to your YouTube.
Thank you.
Welcome, Glenn.
Okay. Well, we'll see you later then.
Okay. Yeah, see you later, Glenn.
Have a good day. Bye. Ken, we'll talk to you tonight.
We will talk to you tonight.
Take care.
Bye, Ken. We're talking to you at Mrs. Ann's.
All right, y'all have a good day. And one more guest before we close. What's up?
Something you want to let us know about there, Glenn?
I'm finding out. As the same time you are. I'm still not sure which one's Glenn.
Are you being trolled?
I actually don't think so. I don't think this is a troll.
I wonder if she's got you mixed up with.
But she did call him what? Jack? What did she call him? Jack Carf?
Yeah.
Jack Carf. Oh, what did you call Jack? It's on the stream. It was definitely a pun.
Tolkoft or something like that.
Jack
Tolkoft. Something. Wow.
Jack off cock or something like that. But she might have picked it up from someone too.
Still trying to figure out why she's calling you Glenn, though.
She does.
Unless she thinking of Glenn Lawrence, is one of was one of Based Oracle's buddies, not no more.
Oh, am I already getting confused? That the antlers are already confusing people.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm seeing it in real time, just like you.
Is that your alter ego with the antlers? Is Glenn with the antlers on?
I have zero information about it other than what you saw on the stream.
Damn, don't you hate being out of the loop?
Not really. Not that loop.
Uh-oh, you're getting hit on, Jeff.
I think Glenn was getting hit on. The other Glenn.
The other Glenn. I think Ken's after you now.
God.
That's why he's up here flexing his guns for
I'm
you.
gonna start sending him to that. What's her name? That Kendra guy. She does the online dating. They
Oh,
can
that's,
go on her
yeah.
show and make their pitch, and she'll take care of them.
I was
Which
on a show early this morning, and this fella says that we need more gay people in the world for Mother Nature to heal herself.
okay, I don't even know
Yeah,
what
that's what I said. I'm like,
that
wait a minute. Where did that come from? More gay people for Mother Nature to heal herself. The guy's from California, so what can I say? He
Uh-oh.
believe. Uh-oh, what?
Uh-oh. I'm, I'm being fought over.
Back off, Chuck. Oh, I got my clothes on, thank you, Ken. I'm not up here trying
I don't
to.
know, kid. Chuck has more daddy vibes going for him. That's really what's going to
Well, I'm
determine in the
definitely
end. So
older.
that's what you're competing with.
I could be Ken's grandpa.
What you got going today?
Not much. I need to go out there and finish cutting the grass, but
You still the first half's
well,
gonna already be grown by the time you finish.
that's exactly what happened.
Oh god.
Every time I get out there and start on it, I get like a fourth of it done and it start raining, and I'd have to quit.
Oh.
And then when it finally quit raining, what I had just cut already started growing again, just like you're saying. And
Hey
it's
Nancy, good to see you.
because of the rain pattern we had. But now that we're out of it, I should be able to succeed. I was out till dark last night to where I couldn't see
Trying to
anymore.
mow?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that's dedicated.
Well, 7 acres takes a lot to cut.
I would help you if I was there. I really would. I like doing that stuff. I thought the global birth rate was declining. Like that was one of the issues.
Exactly.
People were freaking out because the
Overpopulation.
girls aren't
Yeah.
having babies anymore.
And men damn sure can't have babies.
Yeah. You sure about that?
Well, the last time I checked, I'm
I'm
talking about,
predicting anybody's gonna be able to have a baby. You just go to the doctor and they'll
I'm talking
inject
about
you
a
with a baby. And
biological male.
yeah, in the future, I think they're going to be able to implant anybody with a baby
I
that
was
wants
actually
one.
jumping up here to help bail you out.
Oh,
I seen it
okay.
was getting hairy.
Yeah, well, you noticed I wrapped it up.
And I do know, like, she was on flows last night and she behaved herself
I
with
mean,
no
I
problem.
wouldn't say she misbehaved. She's
No,
just,
no, 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 no. I'm not talking about that.
oh,
She was more reserved. She wasn't just flirting things out. So I know she's got it in her.
there's that blurting out again. That's what Margot and I fought about.
Well,
Take
I
care,
don't know.
kid.
I don't know what
See
you
you
want to
later.
call it.
I know y'all don't have to backtrack now. It's blurting out to y'all. That's how y'all see it.
It's just a word. It's just a
Which
word
I
I
don't have
came
a
up
problem
with.
if normal people see it that way, but people that work with autistic people to see it as blurting out really bothers me.
Ah, okay. Probably a better word for it. I just don't know it.
Is that the one with Danny DeVito?
What
Or is that Kindergarten Cop? I don't even know how I know this shit. Daniel, quit messing with my brain.
Daniel? I mean, Kindergarten Cop was
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger and that gal. They were cops, right?
Who was the gal?
I can't remember her name.
Twins. What's Junior? I don't know. I didn't watch those dumb movies. I watched intelligent, artistic shit
Yeah, what was that other one?
like Clue and Rocky Horror
Wasn't
Picture Show.
DeVito and Schwarzenegger? throw Mama from the train or
Oh, I
something
love
like
that one.
that?
Oh, man, bring me a soda with that. I love her. She was from the Goonies. Anne Ramsey.
Yeah, a lot of them movies. I just like what you were talking about a few minutes ago. I didn't watch. I just wasn't my cup of tea.
What? Oh, Billy Crystal on the video. See, we have 80s brain. It's all a blender right now.
Billy Crystal, what was that? City Slickers. That's
Sleaze,
like
yeah, City Slickers.
where they go out to the cowboy ranch or
And
something.
then Bette Midler and Shelley Long did that Outrageous Fortune, which was kind of a female comedy flick across the desert. Hey Bex, what's going on? Are y'all finished with the show? We can go start that episode.
I see somebody's been running around with my alternate account trying to sneak in on
Yeah,
other shows.
I wonder who that could be. That's a
I don't
mystery.
know.
Is
But
Angela on the case?
somebody else is.
Oh,
And they supposedly reported him last night. I don't know if that's true or not.
oh, interesting. Yeah, that is. Isn't that against? Of course, back in the day, people would imitate my account all the time and like do ugly things, and they never did anything to it then either. So even if it's technically against terms, they don't always enforce it for some reason.
No, that's true. That's true. But I was just shocked to find out he was running around impersonating me at other places.
You, Barbie, Lindsay, well, possibly Lindsay.
Damn.
We're not sure. The Freak. Who was the other person? I don't remember.
Holy cow, he's busy.
That's why I have to have people show themselves on camera before I let them on now.
Well, that's what other people are
Even
starting
if
to
I
do
know
too now. That's
Yeah.
what other people are doing. But someone told me last night, you made the big time when you got a troll.
Now, right,
like,
and now I'm trying to graduate to hate watcher
I'm like,
because
a
I feel
troll?
like
I don't even have a
that has some
channel.
potential. Well, McNemesis, did you read the description under the video? Here, I will read it for you. An unsafe space. First 3 words. I'm not here for you. You take care of your feelings.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
not here
have
to make you feel
calm,
welcomed.
a
If you
calm
don't feel welcome,
conversation.
then go somewhere where you feel welcome. But that's not my goal here. I don't give a shit how you feel when you're here. I really don't.
Tell us how you really feel, Glenn.
And I don't think you're always causing trouble, but sometimes it's not trouble. You've never caused what I would call trouble, not compared to the real trouble that we see in here.
It's just
But
when it gets on that
sometimes you get a little impassioned and like mono
on the religious hilltop, yeah. Speaking down to the masses.
Take a number and stand in line because it's my fault for almost everything that I'm the scapegoat. That's part of my Satanism. I will take all that on. If you need a
It's your
scapegoat,
fault.
just stick it on the antlers. Here, there's room for all kind of things.
I can see it now. Jeff's gonna have all these.
This is the
notes
same kind of
there.
shit that other people have been saying about me lately.
Has he told you to check your attitude yet?
No, but I think that's implied in some of this.
Oh, okay.
And oh my God, y'all, come on, y'all. There's a playbook somewhere that y'all are all working off of. This is the same conversation I've been having with a few people lately.
Is that the real Daniel?
Well, okay, here's what I see then. This is what I would advise you, that you should probably find another environment, because not only am I mean and insult you, but I also offend your sensibility by playing victim somehow at the same time as I'm being mean and aggressive against you. I'm victim at the same time. So
how do you pull that off?
I don't know. He's gonna have to talk that out with his therapist and figure it out together. I think we're dealing with some kind of subjective something.
Maybe he's looking for a therapist. Maybe that's what it is. Could be.
Is this me? Is this for me, Daniel? I don't remember what I said. I think if I did not know better, I would say somebody was typing under his account because this conversation is identical. Oh my God.
Are you serious?
This, yes, it's playing out through MC Nemesis.
I don't think. Well, you got a wrench. You should be able
What
to
I
tell if
am
it's the
taking
real
from this,
one.
and I kind of got this like at other points in my life, but some people have a very particular reaction to me and see me in a very particular way, and it sets up kind of this pattern that they see me through from that point on. I just don't know the. Oh my God,
You got a YouTube page open?
Oh no, it's my channel. I kick anybody off I want for any reason. If they irritate me, kicked off. I kicked Lib off the other day, one of my pretty much a co-host, and now he's never come back to the channel. So there are no lines or boundary to who I will or not kick off here. Anybody is vulnerable to being kicked off.
If you got your YouTube page open, all you gotta do is look at his channel and see
But
if
I
it's the real one.
guarantee if you got kicked off, it was for a reason. I don't just randomly run my mouse over faces and click. It was definitely for a reason.
I thought you had a wheel behind you that you spun to figure out who you're going to kick off.
We are in talks about implementing something like that. It's just so much easier now to run the mouse. Is it rational to be a Christian? Way smarter than who? Because rationality is where the way smartness comes from. So there's kind of a paradox in the question that I need to untease first. But when you say converted, I don't think it's like rational people that converted. I think it's people that use rationality for some things, but still find meaning in things outside of just the rational. That's pretty much what a YouTube channel is. Or like, I don't know how long you've been in the Panoverse, but
I'm beginning to think that's not the real.
Yeah. It's the on Amazon Music thing that's throwing me. Let me do a little bit of research. Hang on.
All you gotta do is click his name and go
to
his channel, and it'll tell you real fast if it's the real one.
Yep, he looks like the real thing. Nemesis, is this you? Can we watch one of your videos? White men sell queers for Palestine t-shirt. Man, you have 3 other channels.
He's got some questionable stuff. You got to be careful.
Okay, I won't risk it. I just never seen him before. I only heard him. Some do, but then also it happens the other direction as well, where some Christians like me deconvert into secularism or Satanism. Well, then go be social. Why are you here lecturing me on what social media is when you could go be doing it?
You got to bring him up, see if it's the real one.
I was wrapping it up. I'm trying to get in enjoyable, relaxing, go watch Survivor mode.
What, with Uncle Frank?
Yeah, I can associate with anybody I want and not associate with anybody I want. And I can have whoever on my channel that I want, and I could leave off of my channel anybody that I want. And anybody else, you can do that with your own channel. You have the same exact rights and capabilities.
It's like opening your front door. You can let in who you want.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know who's in the bubble.
Just because you open the door don't mean they get to come in. Last time I checked, anyway.
All right. Well, I think I'm ready to wind it
Okay,
down.
I'll get out of your way. Like I said, I originally came up here to help you out with
Well, I appreciate you know what I'm learning lately, and this is hard for me. I'm learning that there are people that are doing things for this stream and for this community that I'm not really aware of, and their motivation is to help me and support me. And they're kind of silently just doing, and it's a very strange emotion for me to feel because I didn't get a lot of like I wasn't socialized into it. And I'm
well,
still trying to figure out what to do with it. But
that's
it's
a
definitely
lot of it.
touching, but it's also like I, it's all kind of things.
A lot of it goes back to what you just talking about a couple of minutes ago about who's real and who's fake. I come up, I just try to be me. I got nothing to prove to nobody. Hell, I'm too old to have to fight them battles anymore.
It's easier that way. It's a lot of work to like play a character all the time.
Yeah, we used to have an old saying that most people would rather climb a tree and tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah, it just
Nemesis, you can. Nobody's telling you not to say your stuff. As long as you don't cross, it's not malicious and directed at someone. You can
and you don't.
absolutely say whatever you want.
Yeah, you don't have to scream and yell when you get on panels either, just to make a point.
And when I say you can say whatever you want, you can say it in the comments. That doesn't mean you're coming on
Okay.
panel. Don't need to clone Chuck. I don't think Chuck is clonable. He's one of a kind.
I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to be
All
doing a
right.
stream tonight, and Talcott's going to fire up in about an hour, and Flo will probably go on, and the usual.
Well, who's hosting the show tonight, Jeff or Glenn?
It'll be Glenn. I'm just not sure. And then I think Glenn's supposed to stop by too, also, and give us an update on Glenn's life.
Okay.
So Glenn will be here for that.
And maybe Jeff will show up too. Who knows?
I love that. See.
All right, Jeff. I'll get out of your hair.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks
Have
again,
a good
Jeff.
one.
Take care. I hope you get some of your grass mowed. I really do. I swear to God, I would go help you if I was down there. Who did? Chuck did. Bambi. I don't know about Bambi. Oh, because of the antlers. Maybe Thumper. He was the rabbit, huh? I just got it. I just now got it as an adult why the rabbit was called Thumper. The light bulb just went off in my brain. That's how, see why I didn't watch cartoons growing up. I don't know. There's two things that I don't know how to decode: cartoons and memes. I have no idea what the fuck a meme is conveying to me when I'm looking at it. It's just an image with some word. I don't know what I'm supposed to make of it. Like I struggle with comics. Like the Far Side comics, I was kind of good at. You know, they had the little gifted kid trying to push the door of the gifted school open instead of pull it when the sign said pull. And actually, okay, true story, and I might know this. The director of the gifted school that I went to, the one that I read those quotes from the other day, that guy, the found, he was like our Professor X. Like he was like our Dumbledore. Dumbledore, who is he? Harry Potter. Anyway, I had every year we'd go back to like, or some of the years we'd go back to the program to watch the final performances in the concert. It's like a reunion. So some days we'd go and we'd reunite with the people from our class. It was an alumni thing. And so I was at one of those events, and it was a big deal. It was in this auditorium, and he was at a table in the lobby greeting people, and I was with Mike, my boyfriend, and he was meeting him for the first time, and we had a wonderful conversation, and we were turning away to leave, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to go say hi to other people, and we're going to go check out the exhibits across the street in the art building, etc. And he's like, that sounds good. We'll see you later. Nice to meet you. And I turned to leave, to go out the door that he's facing because he's in the lobby. And I'll be damned if I don't pull that thing closed when I'm supposed to push it. Like right there in front of the director of the gifted school. I acted out that comic in real life just naturally, not even trying to. That is a true story. So yeah, I'm not so good with memes and comics and cartoons. Y'all have a nice night. I'm going to watch Survivor. Bye. Ooh, be here tonight.